Om Shri Sai Ram. Brothers and sisters, have you ever had that moment when everything around you is loud, but something inside you is louder? Not noise, not thoughts, not even emotion. A voice. We spend our lives chasing signals from the world, marks, money, milestones, metrics. But what if the real signal has been coming from within all along and we just never tuned in? Welcome back to Satsangatve Nisangatvam, where leadership is not just about reaching the top, it's about going within. This isn't your typical leadership series. No playbooks, no 10 steps to success. Just real journeys of people who've walked the path, fallen, risen, and somewhere along the way heard something deeper. And today's episode? It hits different because this isn't just about listening, it's about resonating. Our guest today is someone who has spent over 3 decades at the crossroads of technology, healthcare, and impact. Not just building systems, but reimagining how they serve people. Shri Girish Krishnamurthy, CEO and Managing Director of Tata MD, where he leads the mission of making high quality healthcare accessible, affordable, and scalable across India. He is the mind behind the Digital Nerve Center, an AI powered healthcare ecosystem that connects patients, providers, and data, bringing care to even the most remote corners of the country. His work has already touched millions of lives, and landmark initiatives like the digital transformation of AIMS Delhi have helped shape India's healthcare journey. But beyond all of this is a dimension that defines his journey just as deeply. A lifelong devotee of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, producer of the movie that translated devotion into cinema, the movie Ananta. His path has been shaped not just by experience, but by inner guidance. A guidance he describes as hearing the voice within. A leader, a seeker, and someone who brings both worlds together with rare clarity. So today, we're not asking, what should I do next? We're asking something far more difficult. Can you hear it? And if you can, do you trust it enough to follow?
Om Shri Sai Ram. This is Saksham Kathuria coming in live from the national capital. Back with the third episode of Satsangatve Nisangatvam. As the nation wants to know, how do you actually tune into this voice within, and how do you truly trust it? Because it sounds simple, right? Listen to your inner voice. But it becomes far more difficult when it comes to real decisions. Well, by Swami's grace, we have just the right person to explore that with us today. We warmly invite Shri Girish Krishnamurthy, Managing Director and CEO of Tata MD, someone who has spent years navigating such moments. From building high growth startups in the US to leading at global scale, his journey has been full of decisions where data, experience, and instinct all come into play. And somewhere in that mix, learning to recognize what that inner voice is actually saying. From a background spanning engineering, business, AI, and strategy, from institutions like UT Dallas, MIT, and Wharton, to his active involvement in building the Yajur Mandir and the world class indoor stadium at Puttaparthi in record time, in his words, is the best spiritual education of his life. Looking forward to hearing you on resonating with the voice within. Over to you, sir.
Sairam, thank you. My koti pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba. Supreme God, the ultimate Supreme, decided to walk in the world for several years amidst us, guiding us all the time. At the same time, for millions and billions, in whatever the name and form and connection, he continued to guide. He is always on, never gone. With that, I'm just thinking, given the topic given to me today, resonating within the voice and the inner guidance and inner voice, I would share few experiences of mine with Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, both in a metaphysical and a non-physical interaction level and in a physical level. I experienced Swami in two different ways, and I always felt it's two different Swami. The Swami who interacted with me physically, guided me physically, he was more of a leader who managed my worldly activities and allowed me to learn how to act in the world. Whereas the Swami who is always within and guiding all the time is a wonderful connection. He guides you all the time what is right, what is wrong, what is pure. And that Swami is wonderful to relate to. To be born as a human, most of us are trying to learn how to live. But Swami's inner guidance is beyond it. So, to start with, I will first share that how I came in contact within me a phenomenon called Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Somewhere in the mid-90s, I was traveling one day. I had an emergency business assignment to go to Malaysia from Chennai. I was in Bangalore that day, and I came to know around 2 p.m. that I need to travel to that night to Malaysia from Chennai. And I'm going to be gone for about 2 months. So I called my home in Chennai. I used to live in Bangalore, but I had my maternal home where I was born was in Chennai. So I told my family to pack my bag for 2 months. So I reached Chennai on time and just to go to catch the flight to Malaysia. When I was in the flight, for some mysterious reason, after the flight took off, I was not getting sleep. So I decided to read something and was searching to read something. Then the flight had only a newspaper which is in a Malay language. So I was searching in my bag. I found a book. And it was a book on Swami written in 1960s. So I was bored. So I started flipping the pages. So about 7-8 pages I was reading. Slowly I was getting a lot of interest in the book. When my mind little focused on that book, very interesting experience which has happened, that somebody started speaking from the book, which was really, at that point of time, it was shocking. And we know nowadays audio books, but a physical book suddenly became an audio book in the mid of air. And I was literally taken back. But interestingly, I could not stop listening to that voice. So it kept going and going. Flight landed. Still, I could not keep the book down. I was standing in the immigration line. Still, I was listening to the book, reading the book. Everybody is thinking I was reading the book, but somebody is talking through the book. So I went back to my room, to my apartment. Still, I was reading. Morning, it was time to go to work. I went to work. And I was trying to find, every time I opened the book, somebody was speaking. So within about 36 hours or so, I finished that book because I could never sleep. And in this whole period of 36 hours, and a lot of times, without me knowing also, I was immersed and tears was rolling on my eyes. It was a very unique experience because till such time, even though I was from born and brought up of a religious Brahmin family, but I had my own way of devotion. But I would say I was not paying attention to the spiritual aspect of my life. I was more focused on my career, achieving things, innovating things, creating something new. And in fact, the Malaysia assignment was also something were very unique. So this is my first experience about Swami. And in the next 2 months in Malaysia, there are several interesting experiences are started happening. For some reason, it has happened in such a way that it looks like Swami has decided to open the door for me to bring me in. So day after day, he started giving experience. One of the experience I'll share, I was not a very fond of person to going Sai centers. I knew about Sai centers. I knew about Puttaparthi. I knew about Puttaparthi's education system, but I was never interested about all of that. And so one day I was walking in one of the street in Malaysia after my evening dinner for a stroll. And there was a place where the bhajan was happening. I knew it was a bhajan happening. So since I read the book, now I become very curious. I am also thinking about Swami as an extraordinary phenomenon, speaking through the book and getting various miracles happenings. I was like intrigued about the whole experience. I was standing outside this place where the bhajan was going. I was hesitant to go in. My own resistance to become Swami's devotee was getting me there. So I was standing outside and watching the bhajan. At the end of the bhajan, they took an arti. And when they started taking an arti, I noticed around the picture of Swami, there was a full of fire. I was thinking, okay, they have done some interesting automation to bring fire around the photo. So I was watching, and once the arti was over, that fire stopped. Then I just peeped into that hall and called one of the devotee and said, "Hey, how do you guys got the fire?" Then they asked me, "What is fire?" And I said, when we were doing arti, the picture also got fire. And they immediately started selling Sai Ram, and then trying to make me to sit everything. I realized I entered into a wrong place. I ran away from that place. So this was so like this over a period of the 2-3 months. Swami was opening up and giving interesting, unique experiences. So when I came back to India, and there was a call that I need to go to Parthi, but I didn't know because with my family, my mother and everybody, I've spoken very differently about following Swamijis and Swamis and Godmans and worshipping God in a physical form and all of it. So my own ego did not allow me to tell anybody that I need to go to Puttaparthi. I quietly landed in India, told my family I'm going to Tirupati and took a car, went to Tirupati because still I had some purity in my mind that whatever I say I need to do. So I went to Tirupati, but from Tirupati I drove to Puttaparthi. So I didn't know anything about Puttaparthi, but I came in the middle of the night and ended up in the queue, the token system of the queue at 4 o'clock in the morning. And fortunately, my first visit to Puttaparthi, where I had a first token and first row darshan. And again, in his own compassion, he decided to share give me an experience. So Swami came close in the darshan to me, looked at me, smiled, and then he materialized Vibhuti. Then I didn't know what he was doing, so everybody asked me to put my hand. So he was pouring Vibhuti on my hand. And then Swami was lifting his robe for me to take Pada Namaskar. I didn't know what is that mean. Then Swami was looking at me and he's looking at me and the feet. I was looking at Swami and asking, what are you saying? And then other people said, take Pada Namaskar. By the time I took Pada Namaskar, everybody ensured that all the Vibhuti was taken from my hand. So this was my first darshan experience with Swami. But it was extremely captivating. I don't know why it is all happening. Then I came out and then I saw the bookstore. Those days, opposite to South Indian Canteen, now we have accommodation office. There used to be a bookstore. And the bookstores, what we have in Parthi, not like that. They are a very small room. And hardly about 100 different books used to be there. So I picked up 4 or 5 books on Swami and put it on my car and went back. Then I went back to the US. But every year or every time when I come to India, this secret trips to Parthi continues. And but every time I come, again, I didn't realize that period. I always used to come for one darshan, that to keep myself, pretend to be very busy and come for exactly for one morning darshan and leave. But every time Swami was so beautiful, was giving darshan in an extraordinary manner. And also he was preparing me, which I didn't realize that time. Then this is the way life goes on. I went to the US, started a business, and I became the best entrepreneur in 1999 of the US within 1.5 years of starting a startup business. And I was corporate wise and overall successful entrepreneur business wise, and very limited time to think about Swami spirituality or anything. But Swami was continued to be there, which I realized later on. And suddenly, in the late 99, when I was peak of my career and very, very high growth, suddenly one day I lost interest on everything. I stopped talking to people, and the only thing I was doing is morning to night, whatever the book I picked up. By the time I picked up close to about 35, 40 books from Puttaparthi. Never read those books, but within this period, I started reading these books. The beautiful experience which Swami showed on this is, I don't know what he had to do with books and me, but that's the way he started off my relationship with him. I read close to about 30 books, but I was not prepared as a person to agree on anything which is thrown at me as a avatar, God, Superman, super Godman, and all of it. So in this 30 books, Swami ensured all the top books, whatever you would have known about all the top books of Swami. And I've read all the books within that period. Today, if you read the same book I have, the same print I have, the words are the original words published by the authors. Whereas when I read, Swami has changed all the content. He has created his own content in every book and slowly made me to go through the steps of 2, 3 months to realize the supreme God, the ultimate power, the super consciousness or the supreme consciousness or the Parabrahma itself is in the human form in Satya Sai Baba. When I realized that, where this power is there and pervaded on every aspect and every atom of this universe or all the universes, again my ego could not agree that how come I did not realize this all this period? Because I always thought that I'm intelligent, I'm smart enough to handle things and figure it out. So I thought this is something not to accept. So I started asking a question, are you an avatar? It's all happening in the US. Nobody knew about it. I stopped going to work and my wife was worried and she was working in my own company. She was going to work. I stayed at home and I was the CEO and the founder, chairman of the company. I don't manage anything. And my colleague, all the people were worried about me. But there is an interesting experience which I don't get anymore. And I used to get those days. or only that short period, that whenever I used to close my eyes, Swami used to appear in my eyes. In both my eyes, two Swamis will be there. So two Swamis closing your eyes, the biggest problem is I couldn't sleep. So for consecutive for about 13 days, I could not sleep because every time, whenever I close my eyes, he comes in, then I could not sleep. And today we long to see that beautiful form. That time I was getting irritated because obviously I was not getting sleep. I'm tired. I am really getting affected with various manner. So I didn't know how to stop it. Already all my friends and colleague and family thinking that I'm going crazy. If I share this, all of this, they may not relish it. And so I've decided to solve this problem using Swami himself. So in the process of this period, I came across one Sai devotee in the city I was living. So I had his number. I called him. I said, "Do you have Vibhuti?" Then he said, "Yes." So I went to his house that day, took Vibhuti, came back home. That night I applied Vibhuti and went to sleep. But this whole 13 days period, I was asking one question to Swami, that are you an avatar? Kept repeating that, are you an avatar? So that day I slept myself, that is around 10, 11 o'clock in the night. I slept very well. Morning around 4 o'clock, I had a wonderful dream. In the dream, Lord Krishna, in a child form, all of you would have known the crawling Krishna, crawled with the flute and handed over the flute to Swami through his right hand. And Swami picked up that flute from the left hand and started walking in the other direction. When Swami was walking on the other, it's all happening in the dream. There was three people appeared in an attire or like a rishis. Then Swami asked me, "Do you recognize who are these people?" And I'm telling you, the communication of Swami with me are all great American slang English. So then I told Swami, I don't know who they are, but they look like some rishis. Then Swami said, they are not rishis. They are, is one of us a Rama. Then Rama disappeared. Lakshmana disappeared. I think it's Lakshmana, only because all of them were rishi attire. So you had to assume it's Rama, Lakshmana. And who was the third guy? I don't know. We might assume that it is Vishwamitra. So, so with that, they disappeared. And then now Swami asked me, "Do you know what is an avatar now?" And I said, "Yes, Swami, I understand. It is a dream." So obviously I said something. I didn't control that. And then I asked two questions to Swami, whether this person is an avatar and that person is an avatar. Swami have confirmed one person as an avatar and another person, he said, "I will tell later." Since I'm from originally from Tamil Nadu, I asked Swami, "Is Thiruvalluvar as an avatar?" Then Swami said, "Yes." Then I asked, "Is Bharatiyar is an avatar?" Swami said, "I will tell you later." And which Swami told after that 4 or 5 years later. And then the dream disappeared. This was happened. Now I opened my eyes and it was in my bedroom in the US. Next to my bed, my wife was sleeping next to right side of mine. Left to my bed, Swami was standing at a 3 feet distance. And so I had a shock of my life. So I didn't know what to do. But first I thought I'll wake my wife to see Swami and have Swami's darshan. But I immediately know it's a bad idea, because if I wake her up, if she's not able to see Swami, and already there's a lot of confusion at home about my behavior, and obviously the next day morning, everybody would have taken me to a psychiatrist. So I realized the mistake. So I just said, I don't want to do this. Then I started talking to Swami. I said, Swami, it looks like you're standing here. I've been behaving crazy for last few days. I've been only thinking about you. I could not sleep. And because of the so much of intense thought I have, I may be hallucinating. You're standing here. If you're really standing here, please show me some evidence. And Swami did a beautiful thing. First, he smiled. Then he lifted his hand and blessed me with Abhayasta with one hand. And he turned around and walked out of my bedroom, which was closed. He opened the door and kept the door open and walked away. He didn't stop there. It was 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. Generally, you know how we will be smelling in our mouth. But suddenly a wonderful taste and a beautiful smell came on my mouth. And it remained for about next 2 days. I didn't brush for 2 days. So this was my experience of how Swami came into my life. Or he decided to show himself and help me to come closer to him. So like this, there are a lot of experiences he granted me. Now it is 30 minutes from the beginning, and I can go on. One satsang, 1.5 hours is not enough. He has kept on giving me communication and experience, and I can go on and on. It never ends. And I will share all my experiences, whatever possible in the next 1 hour. Instead of doing a monologue myself, I will open up for the forum for an interaction. And I will try to relate to Swami in a real life world. Now, all of this I've shown experiences are very dramatic, melodramatic experiences. While that is there are a lot of practical, real life experiences he has given me. He has taught me a lot and continue to be part of my life and continue every day to connect with him. I don't miss him at all. And he's always there. Whenever I call, he's there. And whatever I do, I certainly believe he only does it. Whatever I speak, he only makes it. And so I will share one small experience, how trivial can be Swami, how beautifully he can give you a different experience of things. So later on, this is somewhere around 2006. And between this period of 1990 and 2000 and 2006, there are a lot of things happen. I will share with all of you in between based on your questions. But this one, I'll just wanted to, all these experiences are very serious. Now I will give you one casual experience, how Swami will come with you and travel with you. So once what happened, when I was moved to India, and for Swami, I used to go regularly for every 3 months to the US for my business trip. Whenever I go for business trip, if I'm going for 2 weeks, I will take one extra 1 week, or every weekend, I used to work on Swami's activities. Whatever I need to do in Puttaparthi with the trust or with the organization or the US organization, whatever the projects we are doing, I used to work with devotees, to meet with devotees, to work with them to execute all of this activity. So substantial amount of my time on my travel, other than my work time, I used to focus on Swami's work. That has been my life. So one day what happened, there are a group of devotees from Trinidad was supposed to meet me in Orlando. And I was there in other part of Florida. So early morning, I drove to Orlando to meet this devotees who's going to come from Trinidad. My flight was leaving from Orlando to Bangalore via multiple cities around 2 p.m. And Orlando is a city where it is a lot of tourist people come in because of Disney World. The airport is always busy. Unless you are 2-3 hours before the airport, you can never make it in Orlando. Now 2 o'clock is my flight. The meeting with the Trinidad devotees are at 8:30. I ended up at 8:30 for the meeting, but the devotees were supposed to come from Trinidad. They all showed up at 11. And the meeting was supposed to be 2.5 to 3 hours, but I didn't want to cut short this meeting because it's Swami's work. And also, I had a privilege of buying few special. I used to have a habit of gifting perfume to Swami, and he used to accept. It was an experience for a very long time in a physical level. I tried 13 different perfumes to Swami. He rejected 12, and the 13th perfume he accepted. And till Samadhi, he was using that perfume. And so I had the fortunate blessing of continuing to gift that perfume to him till the last minute when he was physical form. So every time in the US, I will identify a shop wherever the city I'm going, decide to go that perfume. Without that perfume, I don't come back. And at the same time, Swami's meetings and activity, I never stop, cut short. Because of my personal flight or personal situation or timing, I had a very clear priority in my mind. You have to give the focus to Swami's work. And I will share that experience why I do that, because Swami has taught me how to focus on that work. So what happened? I told the devotees, let's finish the meeting. I finished the meeting with the devotees. It was 12:30, and the guys in my host, they're saying, no, let's rush to the airport. I said, no way. I've already ordered this shop in this mall. We have to go and pick up the perfume. For a 2 o'clock flight, I reached Orlando airport at 1:35. And it is practically impossible to make this. The devotees who came to drop me, they said, Girish, you cannot make it. Why are you unnecessarily doing it? And I went to the counter, asked the agent. The agent said, no way, sir. The flight is already closed, boarded. I said, you call your manager. Then he called the manager. I asked the manager, see, I have to go and give me my boarding pass. I will manage to board the flight. If I don't board the flight, you will leave it. He said, okay, if you are insisting I have to give, I'll give. Somehow that manager, he gave me the boarding pass. Now, I collected the boarding pass. Even though I am eligible to travel business class, whenever I do on a personal work, like Swami's work is my personal work, and I not to take my official business class ticket, so I was on an economic ticket. But I turned around trying to see this ocean of people are standing in the queue for security. I turned around and one big African American guy walked to me. Hey, boy, come here. What are you doing? He took my bag. He's like about 6 feet 5 inches, gigantic guy. He said, you walk with me. And he took my boarding pass in his hand. He opened up a new security line and walked with me. He put my bag, he took my handbag out, and he walked with me for about to the gate. Then he left. 1:50 I was in the gate. And interesting enough, I was the first one to board the flight. It's not only that, I went to sit in my economy seat. I sat there. Within about 10 minutes, one of the air hostess came to me, said, Mr. Krishnamurthy, from our side, we have upgraded you to a first class. And if you know the airlines rule, if you are there in economy, they can do only one upgrade to business class, that too with a lot of difficulties. But these guys have upgraded me to first class. Not only upgraded me to first class for one flight. All the 3 flights to Bangalore from the Orlando, every flight I was upgraded to first class. And I came home. So the point is, if he wants to grant everything, he will do it, whether it's a flight ticket. He has acted to me as a postman. He has acted to me several different things. I will share all those things. And also how he guides in a day-to-day basis in my real life. And how I hear his voice, how I connect with him, how I really heard his voice, how he really communicated, and all of it I'll try to share. But at this stage, I'll stop it. And with the permission from Gopi and Swati and other people, I'll stop it if it is okay. Then people can interact.
Yes, Swati, you can go for the Q&A. We'll open the forum for question answers and then we'll take this forward.
Sure, sir. Sister Shruti, Sairam.
Sure, sir. Brothers and sisters, you can use the hand raise option if you have a question. And once your name is called, please unmute and ask your question. You can also write your questions in the chat box, and we request you to please keep your questions short and clear. भाइयों और बहनों, जिन्हें प्रश्न पूछना है वो कृपया हैंड रेज विकल्प उपयोग करें. आपका नाम आने पर कृपया अनम्यूट होकर अपना सवाल पूछें. आप अपना सवाल चैट बॉक्स में भी लिख सकते हैं. कृपया अपने सवाल छोटे और स्पष्ट रखें. We can go with brother Vivek. Brother, you can unmute and ask a question.
I'm not able to hear Mr. Vivek.
Brother, you're not audible. Okay, we can
Hello?
move. Yes,
Sairam,
brother,
am I
you are audible now.
Yes, yes. Sairam, sir, thank you so much for the session. I've heard so many satsangs, but this satsang has hit differently. It has been very good 45 minutes. Sir, I have a question. It might be silly, but which perfume was it, sir, which you are giving to Swami for all day?
And I will share with you separately, brother, on offline.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Because
That
I
is
need to take permission before giving it to you. So
Yeah, I was expecting that question to come.
Yeah. Thank
Any
you, sir. It
question?
was one.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. Sister Swikriti from Delhi.
Sairam.
You
Yeah. So from your doubting period, sir, where you were not sure about your belief and your faith, to now, what moment do you consider in your professional life as well as your personal life as the moment where you just completely surrendered to Swami, and or what forced that particular moment where you had to completely surrender to Swami in maybe your professional or your personal life, or maybe both?
So great question, Sukriti. And see, I explained about the dream, subsequently is darshan at home. That was the second I became Swami's devotee. I was totally surrendered to him. And till this minute, I've never ever come out of that feeling. So that is the moment. But I will take it further and share one experience of how Swami never fails on his promises. And it may take about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to share this experience, but I feel it is highly valuable to this audience. How it is connected, everything is connected, is all the time, 24/7, 265 days, every second he is with you. See, once I became a devotee and I started very serious connection with Swami. So for a 75th birthday, in the year 2000, I came to Puttaparthi and spent about 4 days or 5 days. And that point of time, one day during the big, I still remember on the Women's Day on November 19th in 2000, Swami gave an experience in the Darshan line. Suddenly after Darshan, after the interview, Swami was still sitting in veranda and working with all the people on organizing the birthday function. And I was sitting in one of the line in the front, little far. It is after darshan, after bhajan, still crowds are hanging around because Swami is there. And Swami suddenly came out of veranda, got down, walking to me directly, which is about 100 yards, and looked at my eyes. And he told me, Americans will cheat you, Indians will cheat you, but I will be with you. And he looked at me very deeply. I fainted. And I came out of that state after 2 hours. By the time when I woke up, opened my eyes. Nobody was there in Kulwant Hall. And that was an experience where it changed my connection with Swami. And subsequently, I created one program, one routine myself at home in the US. I have always one of my bedroom converted as a Swami's room. And so I created a spiritual practice at getting up at 3:15 every day morning and get ready at 3:30. And 3:30 onwards, I used to do sadhana of chanting Swami's name, nothing else. Just think about Swami and start chanting his name. Just calling him Om Shri Sai Ram, Om Shri Sai Ram. And then in about 3-4 months of that sadhana, what happened, a unique experience started coming in. That is, I could feel Swami in the room. And it slowly becomes stronger and stronger over a period of 4-5 months. At the end of 6 to 8 months period, sometimes I could see Swami, or I could feel him, or I could hear his voice. And it continued for about 4 years till I moved back to India from the US. So in those days, it used to be very clear communication with Swami. Then it started becoming an interesting life. The 3:30 routine has become my life. And if I'm not there home, I used to be in a very heavy travel job. Wherever I'm there, I get up at 3:15 and 3:30. I used to start this sadhana because Swami would come. And in some manner, when I say he would come, about 50 to 60% of the days he would communicate, not that every day. But I do thoroughly used to enjoy the 2 hours. That's 3:30 to 5:30, 5:45. I used to sit in one place and do this. So one day I vividly remember this was going on, and Swami came that day physically. And generally, when you want to open up conversation with you, you will say what you want. So that day I was in a very deep ecstasy of devotion. I told Swami, he asked me, what do you want? I said, I don't want anything, but instead I want to give you something. Then he laughed and asked me, why do you want to give it to me? Then I said, Swami, I realize everything belongs to you. But at the same time, the way I feel today, I'm different from you. So the only thing I can give is give myself. So I want to give myself totally. Then he laughed first, he cried next, and then he touched my head and he made one statement. And brothers and sisters, most of I am not a person to share experience. I generally never shared all of this to anybody. But there is some inner prompting has happened after Sai Prakash spoke to me and Brother Gopi spoke to me. So I'm sharing this. And I hope Swami is only guiding to share this. And so Swami told me, I am going to change something for him. And he did this normal mannerism of his hand. And he said, I will fast forward something and move this to this life. And I didn't understand what is he going to move. He's showing his hand and everything. Then he said, the last 7 years of this avatar, you will serve me in my close proximity. And then the conversation was over. It was amazing. But immediately my mind said, okay, Swami is going to live till 96 years. So 2022 is the year he's going to disappear from the world. 2015 is the one, last 7 years, so he's going to call me. So 2015, I should be totally ready. Swami is going to call me, so I'm going to move to Puttaparthi and be with him all the time. So all my worldly commitment, family commitment, everything I should complete it by 2015. This was my plan. Then suddenly what happened in 2003, I organized about 400 people to come from the US, or I was one of the active organizer in getting about 400 people from the US to India to have Swami's Darshan as a group. And those days, this group Darshan and all was not concept, Parthi Yatra and all was not a concept. And it was the first group came in a big group to India to see Swami from the international group. And so we came in 2003 and unfortunately Swami had an accident in Brindavan and you know the story. But in 2 weeks' time, just for our group's sake, he came and gave darshan and attended the program. I'll share those experiences later. But the point is, that point of time, he saw me and he told me that I'll see you later. But the time he told me, from the time myself and my family felt that we need to move to India immediately. And every time when Swami used to come in my morning 3:30 session, and Swami, I used to say, Swami, I want you to go back to India. What do you think? He says, no. And then I booked then this communication with Swami has become so casual. So whatever I do, I used to talk to Swami those days. So one day what happened, I booked for my India trip for a 2 weeks vacation during December 2003. And I told Swami that I booked the ticket. I'm going to go to Parthi, spend 2 weeks. And he kept quiet. And the next day he came and he said, you cancel the ticket. Then I've already made the vacation plan, my family, everybody. He said 4 days before you cancel the plan. So I canceled the plan. Then I kept quiet. Then 1 week later, he told that, okay, you book the ticket for January 11th. So I booked it for January 11th. Then January 11th, the ticket is booked. January 9th, Swami came to me in the morning and you're going to India, no? Yeah. And but did you buy the round trip ticket? I said, yes. No, no. You just go one-way ticket. Then I said, Swami, this round trip ticket cannot be cancelled in one way. No, no, you cancel it. So then the morning I went to work, cancelled it. And then I was in a very tough spot in a project where I was the head of a very large consulting company. And so I have to leave. So they don't know vacation. They're not giving leave, everything. But what happened is that day morning is suddenly the management, the CEO, the global CEO and the chairman decided to appoint me as to go to India and take over the India CEO job and resign. I resigned my job at 11 o'clock. And generally it takes 3 months for you to hand over things. In 2.5 hours, Swami made me to hand over things. I came back home without a job. And then I told my wife, we're going to India, we're not coming back. By the way, we don't have a job also. So that's the way I came to India. But Swami ensured that I had a job. And 14th of January, as he told, I was there in India. Now, this is the first promise. He told you come to India, then 14th of January, there was a job. By the time I landed, when I landed, the note was there from my management that I need. When I left the US, I didn't have the job, but when I landed, I was already given a job and then I was addressing the press conference as soon as I land in India. That is the level he took care of it. But then I came to India, first 3-6 months, there was no communication to Swami, then Swami, lot of things happened. But I had an opportunity from 2004, August. First Yajur Mandir project. From there it started. Every major function and project, 80th birthday, 85th birthday, Sahastra Purna Chandra, indoor stadium, Chennai water project. Every major project, I had an opportunity to play a role. But the most important is, I was there on April 24th, 2011 in Istanbul. I came to know about Swami's Samadhi. So I took a flight and sat on the flight. The first project, the first communication when I moved to India, in Parthi, Swami gave that project to me on April 23rd, 2004. In 2011, April 24th morning, he was not physically there. Exactly, he fulfilled his promise of 7 years I can serve him in his close proximity. Brothers and sisters, Swami's promises never fails. We never know what he means, what he talks, what he communicates, but whatever he speaks, whatever he communicates, it is the truth. Whatever he does, however he does, it is not only delight, that is the dharma. And this is what I want to share as an experience to this question, what you asked. How do you continue to relate? What has to change? So all these things, nothing to change, right? Everything is very, very clear, direct communication. Everything is inner voice. There is nothing. So, Sairam, I can go to the next question.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this beautiful experience with us. We can go to the next question. Sister Meghna, you can unmute and ask your question, please.
So, Mike, I'm curious to know about your coming from the background of triple electrical and electronics engineering. What made you to come back? What made you to MBA in global economic and finance?
So I don't have a right answer to this question because those decisions I did not, on what circumstances, how I made, I really don't know. See, I've been, the way I can define my career is for a very young age. At the age of 17 or so, I started becoming a software programmer, a self-learned, self-proclaimed software programmer in those days. So the early mid-80s, very early stage of software and computers in India. So I become one of the very good technical program writing nerd kind of a programmer those days. And then that took me to different places and growth. But leadership and management, I'm kind of an A plus personality. I always try to be in control of situation, manage situation till I came to Swami. And so it was natural that I need to get into a management. And I trained myself to be an electrical and electronics engineer out of interest. And I was also very childhood it onwards, I was very interested in mathematics. So I had a bachelor's degree in mathematics. And since I was very keen on understanding, say, US is a great country for learning, and especially the master's education in the technology or the management or science is phenomenal education system. So I wanted to train myself in the US health education system better. So, and then I wanted to have a global thought process. Since I'm coming from India, I never had an idea that I always had a calling to be back in India. So I thought the global economy is a great subject to go through. And finance is generally is part of everything. And if you don't know finance, you cannot do most of the business management. So this may be the reason, but Magna, I'm not taking credit of making the decision. It happened. Next question, please.
Thank you, sir. Brother Keshav, you can please unmute.
Sairam, sir.
Sairam.
So interesting to hear your experiences. I want to know, can you share how you were able to distinguish between whether it is Swami's communication with you or it's mind's play?
It's a great question. Great question, Keshav. So, the experiences which I've got, see, for example, uh, whatever the book experience or the dream experience, I had a lot of other experiences too. The Swami physically appearing, it's all only an acknowledgement. But that is not sustainable, or that is not going to happen all the time. As I told you, when I moved back to 2004, then after that, Swami was not meeting me at 3:30 a.m. Right? Like, so how much ever I do prayer, everything, that doesn't happen that way. But I will tell you what is the way I feel. There are two or three correct, or two or three my way of checking this. I will tell you. Number one, there are thoughts or points which is consciously making you comfortable. That is, it is not hurting anybody, it is not affecting anybody, and consciously you are feeling comfortable. That's the first test. Second test, whether it has got any personal selfish benefit or ulterior motive of your own. Third, which is a overwhelming feeling that you have to do this. For example, a overwhelming feeling of doing this session. I will give you thought process, how it has to be done. Today is 12th April. Exactly 48 hours before, I lost totally my voice. I got sudden infection. Within 12 hours, my voice was gone. I was on antibiotic and steroid, everything. And I could not even speak to anyone. Now, I got to call your organizer and cancel this. So, when I tuned in to Swami, I felt that I should not cancel this. And I did not tell anyone that I am going to not doing this. And then I said, okay, there is some reason Swami is giving this experience of creating this challenge and obstacles. So the third test is, each course brings a lot of challenge when you're going on when a path you take, and if you want to do a selfless act or selfless action, and you want to help your colleague, or you want to run your business, you want to make something genuinely happen, the providence and the universe is going to bring you challenges. That the third test is, the challenge is given to you because you are trying to do something good. These are all the way of communication from Swami to you. Now, what happened? This morning, my voice started opening. And I had spoken to one of two organizers to give instruction or to talk to them what I need to do. At 6:55, my voice was only about 10%, 20%. And when I came at 7:15, my voice was about 60%. But the last 1 hour, my voice is 100%. And I'm pretty sure at 9:15, my voice will go back again. So this is Swami to you. And I enjoy this. And this is my way of communicating and listening to him. Can I go to the next question?
Sure, sir.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you so much. Sister Sainupur, you can please unmute.
Sairam sir, and
Sairama.
I have one question. Like you mentioned, saying that you don't miss Swami. I want to know that what do you mean by that? I'm really curious to know about it.
So I will tell you two answers on this. See, number one, if you try, there are the way we connect to Swami, there are multiple different ways, right? We all have seen Swami in a physical form. Maybe some of them in this group may not. I assume most of us would have seen Swami in a physical form. And as a darshan, that is the one. So that is one kind of Swami we experience. And the second kind of experience of Swami, which is you go to his altar and pray, ask something, or communicate to him, where you don't expect that he is going to tell anything, but you do a job that, okay, I tell you, you do it. The third one, which is what very interesting to me, which is you believe that Swami is with you all the time. Then he's always with you. And he does, if you genuinely feel that he's always with you, and then you choose to do certain signs to show that he's always with you. I will tell you, recently I was in a board meeting about 6-9 months back. It was a very serious board meeting where I have to deal with certain very critical problems. I was very tensed. Generally, this kind of critical problems and there and thing, if you are very high pressure and tensed, you may not deliver a good job. You have to be extremely relaxed and then you have to be there. And suddenly, just before the starting of the board meeting, since I was very tensed and focused to solve this out, thinking this thing, to relax myself, somebody came and knocked, tapped on my shoulder. I'm turning back, nobody was there. Then 1 or 2 minutes later, when I was getting, every time I was getting tensed, somebody was coming and tapping me. So this is the third Swami you have. So this Swami I don't miss because he continued to play and he continued to create this drama. So we'll go to the next question.
Thank you so much, sir. Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sister. Sister Narayana, you can go next, please.
Sai Ram, sir. Sir, in many instances, you have mentioned today that you always stay connected to Swami, and some or the other way you feel that establishment between you and Swami continuously. I wanted to know what is the spiritual practice or discipline you daily follow to make that connection stay like that. And my second question is, was there any instance that you missed that connection with Swami, and did you what did you do to regain that connection?
Okay. I think it's a very, very important question, Amma. So number one, as I told, between 2000 to 2004, I was doing intensive spiritual practice of 2 to 3 hours every day in the morning, and which is predominantly doing Namasmarana on Swami, on Swami Swam. So that was my initial spiritual practice. After 2004, when I came back to India, and that was tremendously reduced, and I was not doing any much of a discipline practice. But more than the spiritual practices, the highest tapas was given to me by working with Swami in Puttaparthi. So that is then you don't need anything. But somewhere around 2010, I was initiated based on Swami's direction. I was initiated into an yogic practice. I was by one of my guru. So where there is a certain special type of meditation I do, and which I was very sincere and or I was doing very disciplined for 3-4 years till about 2014 and 15. Then it also faded away and stopped. And I don't do a lot of regular spiritual practices today. But to large extent, I have a lot of connection. And whenever go to Swami's altar or wherever I am there, if I think about Swami, within 1 or 2 minutes, I get an overwhelming devotional feeling with Swami. And so this is what my spiritual practice, to answer your question. And I can anytime, what I always feel is, anytime that connection happens because of His grace. I don't think I have any eligibility to say I have done anything. It is pure, whatever I narrated to you, your experience or spiritual growth, sadhana from our side, I feel it is our own ego trip that I'm doing this. But 99.99% of the work is done by Him. And we think that because of our sadhana, Swami is come to closer to us. But I feel only His grace is taking care of everything. And the second part, in one of the time when I was working in Patti, very interestingly, one time I had an opportunity to screen a movie for Swami in Purnachandra Auditorium. And as I was organizing, that equipment was not working. And the movie screening was getting delayed. Then Swami came and asked what happened and all. And then Swami blessed, and within 2 minutes, that the whole system started working. And the movie was shown. And so we know only Swami made the machine work. So at that point of time, he told me one sentence, which is, you do my work, I will do all your work. And till today, as I told, he never fails in promise. He will do all our work. And so that's the way I would like to answer. We can go to the next question. Did I answer you, Ma?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Beautifully answered. We have brother Saksham from Delhi. Brother, you can unmute.
Sairam sir, मेरे को ये पूछना था, you were actively involved in the making of यजुर मंदिर और जो stadium है पुट्टपर्थी में. तो you've mentioned कि it was one of the best spiritual education जो आपने gain किया है. क्या आप उसमें से कुछ experiences बता सकते हैं?
Jarur. I will share one experience about Indo Stadium. See, Indo Stadium, the project was thought. So there are a lot of experiences I can share. First, I will share 2 experiences about Indo Stadium. And how are we doing with the time, Swati and Gopi?
We are good, sir.
Okay. So let me know when all of you bored and not to go further, we'll stop it. Okay. So, see what happened one day, Swami was in Trai Brindavan, and he generally meets with students in the evening and does kind of a discussion. So one day Swami was just prodding people. It's 2006. And what do they call Golden Jubilee, Silver Jubilee? What do they call for the university? Then students were saying, Swami, it is Silver Jubilee, not Golden Jubilee. So during the discussion, Swami said this like this 2-3 times. And I was not physically present that time. And one of my colleagues who used to work with Swami very closely was present. And I was at work and my friend called, Girish, this has happened today. And Swami brought it this 2-3 times. That means there's something he's wanted to. So then I said, I came back from work and met with him. We started at night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the Brindavan discussing what Swami was leading to. Then we narrowed down our thought process, thinking that, okay, Swami wants to build, because every universities for their Silver Jubilee, Golden Jubilee, they build some building, library building, memorial building, something like that. We thought, okay, Swami is leading us to build something, but we need to build something which is very unique. where other universities and education institutions, they don't have it. So we narrowed down, okay, we'll build a world-class Olympic standard indoor stadium in our institution. So the next day morning, next day I worked with an architect and other people. We create a proposal. Then the following day, when Swami came out for darshan in the morning darshan, we went and presented to Swami saying that Swami, we wanted to build an indoor stadium for Silver Jubilee of our university. Our intent is asking Swami the permission, because with Swami you take about 10 projects or 20 projects, one or two only get approved and it moves on. So then, but Swami did not say yes, but he asked the question, where will we build? Fortunately, about 5 minutes before that, we thought through. Then we said some 1 acre land we have near Sai Gita shed. So we suggested to Swami, Swami, we have one land there. Then he thought for a second. There are a lot of trees. See, Swami is so compassionate, and every being, including trees and everything, is part of his universal kingdom. Like how you and me are important, and everybody is important. Plants are important. So he was worried about the trees. Then he said, no problem, let's cut it. So in 1 second, he gave moksha to all the trees, then allowed the project to move. So, but Swami told that it has to be done within November 23rd. We are in the month of July. And the next part is that day afternoon, Swami asked the students to go to Commercial Street in Bangalore and buy 7 flags. He said, stadium means it should have flag on top of it. See, look at the greatness of the leadership of Swami. The final thing is, after building the stadium, the last one you will put the flag. He has thought through the whole project, how it is going to come, and then he went and asked the student to buy the flag that day. He kept the flag ready. And after 3 days, he gave the flag. This is the flag you need to put on the stadium. So, so, so his way of working and thinking is very, very different. It's a great education. I will share one experience on indoor stadium. See, once what happened, see this stadium building and all is not an easy part. If you look at it, the span has to be very open. You cannot have pillars and like a building you don't build. It has to be very open, right? You have to play. You cannot have pillars in between. So with the great analysis, everything, the L&T is our contracting company who did the stadium. So they came up with a very innovative scenario. Those days, it was in the very early days of building space frames. If you look at airport and all, you'll have the space frames on which they build the ceiling, and which is prefabricated, faster, everything. At the same time, you can get a span. So we're all very proud of we are going to build spam with this kind of a prefabricated space frames. So those days, what used to happen is since it was very fast track project, every day Swami used to monitor the project. So what I used to do, I created an office in Parthi. We'd make all the drawings, everything. What is going to happen today, we used to show it to Swami in a diagram. So outside of Yajur Mandir, we put a poster every day. When Swami comes out for a darshan, he will stand for 1 minute and we'll say, this is what Swami we're going to do today. And he used to come in the afternoon to verify it, or Swami to come to motivate it. So that day when we were showing this space frame, our own seniors and the L&T engineers, everybody was very excited. Swami, this is space frame, this, that, great technology, everything was explaining. Swami looked at all this thing, everything, and looked at me. He told, Kaushad alaga undi. That means you are building like a cow shed. Here we are talking about the greatest technology and this and that. Swami is saying cow shed. It's such an expensive project. We didn't know what to do, but I felt very dejected because Swami is hurt. I want him to become quickly happy that we are doing something great. So what I did, I went to the room, I told the boys and everybody that, okay, let us put, even though the space frame is very expensive and great looking and everything in other places, Swami doesn't like it. So let us camouflage it with the uh, false ceiling. And without thinking how the false ceiling is going to come, I told these guys, you just go to an AutoCAD software, told them just put a false ceiling, we'll show the new printout to Swami in the afternoon. So they put the false ceiling. Then afternoon, again Swami came for this, and now I was so proud that, okay, we are going to show Swami, Swami is going to like it. Swami looked at it. Did you check with the engineers? It is possible. Then only I realized what blunder I have done. But Swami said it is looks good, but check with engineers. Then I go and check with engineers. Then they say the structure engineers, that is very difficult to do because it's a very complicated for a long span to do leave the technology technical behind it. Then the next problem is we have only 35 days to execute project now. We are the 30, they will come to that level, right? Close to the birthday. Nobody in the country is willing to manufacture that volume of false ceiling with the material because for such a span, the material is, so it's an engineering nightmare. I summarize it like this. We are breaking our head how to solve this problem. Now Swami has approved, nobody could do technically. So we, even if today if you go to this indoor stadium, you will see false ceiling, and every time when I go and look at it, this is what comes to my mind. It took so much complicated labor, engineering to do that false ceiling. First, we thought it's a great space from technology. We are closing it. We are camouflaging it with false ceiling. The last chip of a false ceiling was fit when President Abdul Kalam and Swami came and sat on the stage. You have to remember when Swami was sitting and all the crowd is in the stadium, President of India is sitting, Kapil Dev and Rajvardhan Rathur is walking and opening the ceremony. There are 25 guys are behind the false ceiling working. They could fall any time down. And every second I was the only guy in the stadium was with, my heart was breaking out because it was a very high risky job I did. Then only I realized what Swami is can teach you. Swami looks high level visionary, but is meticulous in detail project manager. And he will help you to solve your problem, but is extraordinary leader and guide. And I continue to carry this every day. Sorry, it was a long experience, but I thought it's worth mentioning.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this. We'll take one last question from Sister Savitri.
Sir, you mentioned you do sadhana at 3:50 in the every morning. I want to know what is that one thing which inspires you to do it consistently because I face a lot of difficulties and I couldn't do it consistently. What is that one trick you would suggest?
So first of all, I don't do consistently anymore, but I did it for continuously for 4 years. So between 2000 to 2004, I did consistently every day. And so the only thing is, what was driving me is, I was enjoying being with Swami. I was not doing sadhana to get any benefit. I was not expecting anything. And I only share my experience. I don't have any eligibility to advise spiritually to you. I can only share my experience. This was my feeling that, I don't have anything. I never had anything to get it or agenda. I do sadhana or every day I discipline, I do it. I want to do it. Or I feel great that I do every day. I feel proud. I want to tell I do sadhana. I never told a lot of people. Very few people knew about it. And my people at my home, they feel that I used to be a big disturbance and nuisance to them because I get up at 3:15 and make noise here and there. So that was the only discipline I do. So the suggestion to you, sister, is You pray to Swami, you love to be with him, he will guide you. And there's the one thing he will tell you, what is that one thing you need to do rather than me. That's the best way to answer this.
Yes. So I have another question. You mentioned a book you read on flight to Malaysia. What was that book?
I will do one thing. I will show you the book itself, the real printed book, what I read. It is totally worn out. I just kept this for you. I know this flight is going to come back. So I thought I'll keep it ready. This is the book. You're able to see?
Sai Baba.
It is the Man of Miracles written by Howard Moffat.
Yeah.
Sai Baba, Man of Miracles, Howard Moffat.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just Swati and Gopi, I'll just take a 30 seconds break. Somebody's knocking the door. Just give me a...
Sure. Please. Absolutely. Shruti can announce that further questions, they can populate it, and then we can consolidate and send it to him.
Sure, sir. Thank you,
Sai
brothers
Ram.
and sisters.
I'm
Yes,
from
sir.
I'm right now in China. In fact, I got the message pretty late from Sundaraman sir. So I just wanted to pose one question, if that is allowed. You can take a call.
Yeah, may I just know who you are, Mr. Srinivasan?
This is S. Srinivasan. I'm from from Nerul, Navi Mumbai.
Okay.
Okay. Right now I'm in China, and Dr. Sundaraman, Mr. Sundaraman, who is brother of Mr. Girish, he just messaged me in WhatsApp. There interesting discussions are going on, so I just joined.
We will leave that to Mr. Girish because the last question from the students has been completed.
Sure.
So if Girish wants to answer the question, I think we will let it go. Shruti, you can let that question go.
Sure.
Sure, sir. We'll wait for sir to come back then.
Yeah, he'll just come back. I believe somebody is knocking the door. Maybe Swami is knocking the door saying.
Sorry about it.
No, not at all. Mr. Srinivasan from China, he has a question for you. Would you like to take it?
Absolutely. How are you, Mr. Srinivasan? Sai Ram.
Fine. Thank you, Sai Ram sir. In fact, I just got the message pretty late from Mr. Sundaraman, so I joined only 20-25 minutes back when the question answer session was starting. I just wanted to clarify one thing. After Swami is leaving the physical presence, definitely the divine presence, as you have narrated many times, everybody, I mean, some people do feel about it, but many people are really clamoring towards, a lot of physical entities who are doing a lot of service in many forms, and then, calling them Swami, and they are again under the same aegis, of Satya Sai Baba. I mean, one gets little confused, that we can go inward and do sadhana to realize that. So, and indications would definitely come from Swami. So I just wanted to get clarifications because many times I do get confused.
Yeah, so first of all, I don't know the right answer for it, but I'll tell you how I approach it.
Sure.
See, first of all, we believe that Swami is everything and he is the supreme, ultimate consciousness. Everything is in his control. What experience and what connection on how he wants to come to you, he is going to come to you. And the other people, they are all in the same manner, connected to Swami in their own way. And they may be exhibiting some extra miraculous power or experiences, all of that. But you have your Swami, yes, already, like how 16,000 Gopikas experience 16,000 Krishnas. You as a Srinivasan can experience one Swami and I can experience Girish as one Swami. So your Swami is with you. So you don't need to go anywhere, run around. And if you are experience Swami in a physical form in Puttaparthi, if you have experienced Swami in Brindavan, experience Swami in Sai Shruti or Shivam or Sundaram, you connect there. And if you experience your Swami in your altar, that is the way I do. I connect with Swami in my altar. I connect to Swami in my room. I also go to Puttaparthi. If any of these other aspect of Swami's presence is come in your way, I kind of not indulge or actively to do because I don't understand. And I'm not eligible to come and say what they are doing is right or wrong because I don't know. Swami has not given me the faculty to judge them. See, I don't have today Gopi is there, Srinivasan, you are there. I don't have any faculty or ability to judge who is right, who is wrong, and how do I connect it. So I just leave it to Swami on this. If I need to be with this one of this phenomenon, that is what Swami want to do, it will automatically happen. Or Swami wanted to, that is the way I process it. And I don't reject any of this, but I don't at the same time object any of this, or I don't connect myself and try to do. Because I want to be little simple. I don't want to get into any complication. And second part, given all the diversity is happening, your action is creating unhappiness to some people. So why do we create that situation? So I try to avoid that. As I told, one of the brother asked the question, when you are consciously feeling comfortable, you do anything. That's what Swami's direction is to you. But you need to be extremely comfortable and happy about it. Like, for example, if your children or your spouse or your parents, if they need something, the way overwhelmingly, lovingly you're going to go do things for them, the same feeling if you get doing this with any phenomenon, then it is true to you. That's the way I feel. If my conscious is comfortable, I don't expect any confirmation from somewhere else. But the way I conduct myself today is, when Swami was in the physical form, I go to Puttaparthi. I continue to go to Puttaparthi. When Swami was in physical form, I used to serve in Puttaparthi, and whatever possible time I do, like for example, Swami gave me a great blessing, and I thank our management trustee, Mr. Ratnakar, for giving me an opportunity to serve Swami during 100th birthday in a best possible way. So I consider that as the Swami's connection and blessing. There I leave it, and then I don't confuse myself. This is the way I carry, but I'm no way eligible or capable of advising any one of them in this forum or outside of this.
Thank you so much, sir. Perfect, absolutely.
With your
Gopi, you are muted, Gopi.
Sorry. With your permission, just wanted to add to what Mr. Girish had just said. This is a question that we posed to Swami directly in the year 1996, if I'm right. Swami made two references, which is, I think the group here can edit it. And, I'm just telling you because the question that came up, is a very important question. And I also saw the same similar question in the chat box. Swami, when one doctor asked, Swami said, Pachaga kanipade vanni chilikalu kavu. This is one statement he made. I don't know if those who can understand Telugu, all that looks green are not parrots. This is one statement he made. Second thing he said, me vichakshana jnanam meer vadali. You should use your power of discrimination for deciding. That means Swami is asking us to use our intellectual capacity in thinking. The third thing he said, Swami ki, Swamiji ki difference undira, he said. There's a difference between Swami and Swamiji. He stressed it so beautifully. So I thought, since the topic came up, again, this is again a very personal thing, and let us not jump into any conclusions. I think we should use our intellectual capability and move forward. Over to you, Shruti.
Yep. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Srinivasanji. Thank you, Girish sir, for such a wonderful experiences you shared. Before I let Sister Shruti take us towards the conclusion, I'm elated to see a very senior devotee of Sri Satya Sai Seva organizations, Sri Venkat Ramani sir, joining us. He's the ex-vice president of the organizations and also the trustee of Swami's Abode Sundaram in Chennai. So, sir, if you are able to hear us, we would love to listen to you. Sairam, sir.
So are you referring to me?
Yes, sir.
Venkatramani. No, so let me. Yeah, I am Venkatramani, all right, but then there are many Venkatramanis in Swami's fold.
Yeah.
I am not the Venkatramani of the National Vice President. I am the Venkatramani of Chennai Adayar. I am also the trustee in the West Bengal because I lived in Calcutta for a long time. So I want to clear my identity perfectly so that everybody understands. I have had very close working relationship with Girish sir's brother Sundaraman in the medical camps in Chennai for about 6-7 years when Swami gifted us with the mobile hospital. It's a great experience. I have met Mr. Girish sir once sometime in Bangalore long years ago, but I don't know much about him. I had the same question in my mind, which Mr. Srinivasan sir asked just now. I think Girish sir had answered that in his own impeccable style in terms of it is not for him to judge, not to be assuming roles in terms of deciding who is who and what not. I am fully with him on this. All that I would like to say on this forum is it's been a great blessing to be a contemporary of the Divine Avatar, and I have had his blessings in many, many aspects. While in India, I used to travel abroad number of times. I have felt his presence, not physically, but spiritually. On many occasions, he has been with us, with me, and I am very grateful to Swami for that. I'm now 80 plus, but still I try to do whatever little I can do in terms of spiritual practices. I just want to share only one thing with Girish sir. The Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu was changed by Swami to Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. I understand in my own simple way as expanding his boundaries from the Bhulokam to the several lokas which are around this Bhuloka. May I request Girish sir to pass a few statements on this, what he understands, why this change in simple terms is clear, but Swami's intent is a lot more deeper. Would Girish sir like to comment on this point? Sairam.
Sairam Venkatramani. And I will share what I feel whenever I chant Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. See, what I realize, every thought of us, it is potent enough to cross across all different physical boundaries. So whenever we make a prayer, the blessing aspect of it, if you bless the world to be better, if you bless every person who's coming in your way in a very loving, when I say bless, it is not the connotation of like you are in the top and you are giving Ashirvadam to somebody. It is a feeling of the other person need to be well and protected, taken care, expressing your love and compassion. It is what the Sukhino Bhavantu means. Now, the billions and billions of this world consciousness together, let's say 8 billion people in this world, each one of the living human being, because human being are endowed with an extraordinary faculty compared to all the 8.4 million species. So the conscious level in the human being at a very, very high, powerful way. Now, this level of powerful species of human beings every day, every second, every time possible, if you carry a blessing of a selfless act of thinking about everything in all universes, which is loosely bound, we can say all these lokas, Buloka, Boloka, Swargaloka, Tapoloka, Mahaloka, Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, or you can say 14 lokas. We don't know all of that, or at least I have not experienced those lokas. But Swami has told us, we suddenly know, and Swami has told that you bless everyone with the love and compassion with the samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. The transition is not very important to me because we can never question two things I learned from Swami. Never question why and how of Swami because you will never going to get anywhere.
Great.
And so because of that, I don't analyze why he is transformed from loka, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu to samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Swami transformed it. So let's leave it there. But I feel every time when I there in a Sai gathering, when we chant Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu, if we are able to feel that we are compassionately, lovingly integrate our thought with every being in all universe, the universes is going to become better. That's the only way. That's the only highest service we can do from our thought level. And that's the way I see it. And every thought is a seed. Every seed is a potency. That potency is going to sprout when the right condition, right time is going to happen. If that is a good thought and good intent, that will sprout with a good output. So that is my humble understanding about this, Mr. Venkatramani sir. Sairam.
Thank you so much, sir. Due to time constraint, we'll take all the unanswered questions from the chat. Also open our WhatsApp group for questions and we'll request sir to share his responses with us. समय की कमी के कारण हम बाकी बचे प्रश्न चैट से लेंगे और प्रश्नों के लिए हमारे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप भी खुले रहेंगे. हम सर से निवेदन करेंगे कि वे अपने उत्तर हमारे साथ साझा करें. Thank you once again, sir, for sharing your inspiring journey with us. And we are thankful to Swami that your voice is back because we all truly enjoyed this session, sir. Now, I would like to invite Sister Swati Vasudevan, Sattvam lead and core community member of the organizing team, to share a few words with all of us. Over to you, Sister.
Thank you, Sister Shruti. Sairam, Girish sir, what a fitting satsang for us in this Aradhana Mahotsava month from you. Personally, sir, while I was listening to you, you started off, capturing all the 5 elements and how we should feel Swami across the elements because, you started first with the air flight incident, which covered in my limited sense, the space and the air. And then you came to the fire and you talked about how, you saw fire there and you're wondering if that's graphics. And then you mentioned the land of Puttaparthi, and then finally leaving us teary-eyed with the water. Through this, we are able to feel Swami. And now, not once you mentioned about, missing his proximity because you told us how beautifully to experience him through these 5 elements. And next, what I realized very immensely was about the 5 senses that Swami's blessed us with, right? So you've read Swami's book through the eyes and you've been listening to Swami through our ears, and you speak about Swami and we breathe Swami, and you mentioned so beautifully about the perfume. Now I'm sure I would love to, inhale that scent and capture Swami in that sense, and about you feeling the tap through the body. So it's so beautifully about the 5+5, where we can constantly think of Swami, feel Swami, and be in the presence of Swami is my biggest takeaway. Our deepest gratitude to Swami to have you here, sir, in this very blessed month. Thanks so much for taking the efforts and time. And kudos to your team also, who's been helping us so wonderfully coordinating this evening. We really appreciate your patience and efforts, sir, offering it at Swami's Lotus Feet. Thank you so much. Sairam.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. And once again, I would like to thank sir for sharing these precious and divine experiences with us. Hearing about your secret Puttaparthi visits, the sacred dream of Lord Krishna and the loving darshans of Swami has truly touched our hearts and inspired our faiths even more deeply. Thank you so much.
Sairam, thank you.
With a heart, Sairam sir. With a heart filled with gratitude, I offer this vote of thanks on behalf of the entire team. सबसे पहले हम अपने प्रिय भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा के चरणों में नमन करते हैं, जिनकी दिव्य कृपा और आशीर्वाद से यह सत्संग संभव हो पाया. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speaker for being an instrument of his message and sharing such profound wisdom with all of us today. Blessed by Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba's divine guidance and actively serving in his mission for many years, your life stands as a true inspiration of devotion and selfless service. Your contributions, Bhagwan's sacred projects and initiatives reflect your unwavering dedication to his divine mission. Endowed with profound personal experiences with Bhagwan Baba and a deep understanding of spiritual traditions, including yogic, Vedantic, and Bhakti paths, you continue to enlighten and inspire seekers everywhere. We are deeply grateful for your gracious presence and for all the valuable insights you have shared with us today. My sincere gratitude to our respected elders, Professor Yogendra Verma sir and Shri Gopi Krishna Piditala sir, and the convener, Brother Shravan PVSR, for their constant support and guidance. मैं सभी प्रतिभागियों का भी हृदय से धन्यवाद करती हूँ, जिनकी उपस्थिति और सहभागिता ने इस सत्र को और भी सार्थक बनाया. A special note of appreciation to the organizing team behind this and the IT team for their dedicated efforts in organizing and ensuring the smooth conduct of this session. अंत में आइए हम आज की शिक्षाओं को अपने जीवन में अपनाकर अपने भीतर की आवाज से जुड़ते हुए प्रेम और विनम्रता के साथ आगे बढ़ें. आप सभी का हृदय से धन्यवाद. We'll now conclude today's session with Shanti Mantra. Sai Ram.
समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. शांति शांति शांति. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय.
Sai Ram.
Sir.
Ram sir.
Sai Ram.